30 years later, we look back on the 1995 Quebec referendum with Montreal Gazette journalist Philip Authier, who was covering the Yes campaign with the Gazette firsthand. Monsieur Authier, thank you for joining us today.
Hello.
So let's start off. What stands out to you the most when you look back at covering that 95 referendum?
It was kind of it was basically like certainly at the beginning like covering an election campaign. It was a kind of a debate of ideas and a bazillion numbers, about whether Quebec could be viable as a country. And so then you had the federalist side and the yes and the pro-independence side debating these things. And it was actually kind of calm at the start, and there was no. And I think about it today, like there were no crowds or no hoopla, no people in the streets with posters and banners. It actually sort of felt like an election campaign, and we were debating issues.
Did you have a sense at the time the way that the vote was going to go in the end?
Well, we knew every reporter that was covering that knew that the population was basically split on this issue. There had been another referendum in 1980, which the no side won. But in the time between that first referendum and this referendum, the yes side had built up a lot more support. So, but nobody anticipated such what was it, 50,000 votes. Nobody anticipated such a close score. And it was like in hockey, a dramatic end in overtime kind of a thing. And I think two things kind of stand out for me from those final days. One was the speech Mr. Parizeau made at the Palais des Congrès, in which he blamed money and ethnic votes for the loss. And the other very dramatic moment was the next day, we were all hauled back to Quebec City, and Mr. Parizeau resigned. And he was all alone in the Red Room, the salon, the upper, what used to be the upper house, the Red Room, with his wife, and all of his staff was nowhere to be seen. And it was a very dramatic moment.
And what lessons do you think coming out of that referendum did politicians and Quebecers learn?
I think politicians learned and Quebecers learned that it's a very divisive debate. And in the end, the emotions become a bigger factor than we anticipate. The night of the vote, there were no riots or there were no incidents. But you can find families today that will tell you that this issue divided them and caused them a considerable amount of grief. And I think you also had a generation of yes supporters, PQ voters, who became very disillusioned with the party and the option after that for quite a long time. We're seeing today more of a sort of a resurgence of the idea with youth, but the boomers, the people that, well, like me, everybody got older, and they didn't see their dream fulfilled, and so if you talk to them, a lot of them became quite disillusioned and didn't think it would happen ever. But there were others that. Believed what Mr. Parizeau said that night, that when you lose a vote like that, his line was you rub your hands together and roll up your sleeves and try again. And I think some people also believe that. So it's a tricky kind of a thing, a referendum. It's more intense than an election, and it stirs up quite a bit of emotions.
Thank you so much for your time, Monsieur Authier.
My pleasure.